I thank the chairman and the ranking member, and I appreciate the committee's allowing me to wave on. Here, Mr. Crabtree, we appreciate you being here today, sir. Do you realize, of course, that the actions that you have taken on behalf of the executive for whom you work, it's impacting thousands and thousands of American lives and jobs. You can speak to the amount of LNG export that has been maintained, and you can dangle those numbers before the American people. But that's growth of the industry that was created by the industry and an appetite from the world for clean, reliable, affordable energy. So in my district in South Louisiana has become, over the course of a very quick couple of decades, the epicenter of LNG export for the entire country, and we feed clean, affordable, reliable energy to the entire world, primarily before the interruptions from this executive branch, many of which were led by you, or at least you're at the point of that spear that you're being forced to wield. Prior to the executive's interference, the American LNG industry had been feeding reliable, affordable, clean energy to our allies across the world. And because of various interruptions that have been planned and calculated, interruptions to American energy production and dominance and export, our European allies have had to rely on other sources for their raw energy product to power their grids across the continent. And now you have Iran is selling 90% of its raw energy product to China. That means China is feeding Iran billions and billions of dollars. You have Russia is deeply engaged in renewed energy supply across Europe because the reliability of that supply chain has been crippled by Biden administration policy decisions. And my brother, Mr. Crabtree, you're a part of this, man. We don't understand what happened between the summer of last year and January of this year. My colleague's going to get into that. The timeline that you put forth in your advisement of the pause sounds very cool. We're just going to chill for a little while we take a closer look for a few months. But you knew that a pause that you were initiating generally requires over a year to renew normal permitting. Is that correct? Historically, doesn't it take over a year? Didn't you say in this hearing a little while ago, next year will be done in a year?
We've committed to delivering this work. We've committed to delivering this work within a year. So in the
okay, so a year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not a few months. Because your letter said a few months. So let's just move on.
To clarify, a few months to provide the analysis for public comment.
There was an illusion of this just slight pause that was put forth by this executive. Now, the year's time for renewal, that brings us past November of 2024, does it not? I'm pretty sure that brings...
We're committing to complete the analysis in the...
Yeah, so we're past the election, my brother. Do you see a pattern developing here? Do you have communications, Mr. Crabtree, in my remaining time with the Biden administration officials regarding LNG permitting pause that took place between the summer of last year and January through today in this hearing? You have communication, emails, telephone calls, et cetera?
With whom, Mr. Congressman?
The Biden administration officials, people you work for.
So we've had extensive discussions.
I'm advising you in my remaining 10 seconds to preserve that stuff. How long have you been building your career at DOE, Mr. Crabtree?
I was confirmed beginning of May 2022.
How long have you been building your career to get to that point?
I worked on energy policy for the better part of 30 years.
30 years. You got 30 years into this thing. You realize you're being set up as a sacrifice on the Green New Deal altar?
I disagree with
I'm
that, sir.
going to
The
offer
decision
you
was not
whistleblower
imposed upon
protection.
me, sir.
I'm going to offer you whistleblower protection. Remember that statement, because we will protect you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I yield.